This video is brought to you by Neon Daddy. To get yourself a custom neon LED sign, visit the link in the description.
Well, that's just great.
That's just put a spanner in the works. I had someone coming around to help me film this video, but since I've got that, I guess that's not happening. Hey up, doggos! I have got considerably fatter. Do you know what? I'm changing these glasses. They do not help the way I look. I need to lose weight before I can pull those off. So since I'm kind of stuck here and I can't go out anywhere and I can't talk to anybody, I thought I might as well show you guys the doghouse.
Also, thank you to GamerSubs for sending me yet more waifu t-shirts.
Now, I know this channel isn't really anime or hentai content based, but I'm glad that they send me this stuff because it means I can walk around thinking I have grown a pair. They must have seen my other videos and seen me running around in these things thinking this guy is clearly a virgin. You know, I'm just gonna do this tomorrow. COVID has wiped me out, man.
Okay, right, so it's almost a week later and this needs tidying again, so let's just quickly do that.
And it is also raining, so it means it's cold in here, so let's change that as well.
So, a couple of things before we begin the tour. I would say these are more rules than anything else. But the rule I'm going to say in highest regard when it comes to this video, money is never going to be mentioned once. I cannot stand the YouTubers that go around, here in my $7.5 million mansion.
And the last thing that I want to do is come across as one of those people to you guys, because, you know, I love you guys. Not to mention a lot of the stuff in here was accumulated over many, many years of like work and collecting. That being said though, let's have a little tour of the doghouse. Welcome to the doghouse. Yes, it actually is called the doghouse, and I was going to call it the Doggo Clubhouse, but a bit too cliche, I think. Both of the doors do open, so in the summertime we can have both of these doors open, get some cool air or some hot air into the cabin, and the office just turns into basically a summer house. We do have a pretty good view as well. The whole thing is 16 feet by 10 feet, which is huge, but as you'll soon realise, that big space turns into a small space if you're as stupid as I am. Tiny little log store for keeping wood and basically fuel for the fire inside. Right, since it's starting to rain, come on inside. Now, when you walk into the cabin, the first thing that you are greeted to is the fire. It is complete and utter overkill, especially for something this size, because this is meant to warm up big open spaces, and this is technically an open space, but not nearly as big as the ones that it's intended for. I actually didn't want this in here in the first place. I actually just wanted to run it off electric heaters, because with electric heaters it keeps the whole cabin modular, so then you can move stuff around, you can chop and change whenever you like, however you like. And with a wood burning stove, this is a permanent fixture, and it's something that I really didn't want. However, what changed my mind was when I saw the electric bill over winter. Our energy bill didn't just double, it didn't just triple, it quadrupled. And we simply just couldn't afford that. So this went in here. I'm really glad that we've got it in here now because it's just so toasty and warm, because even with the electric heaters, you still had to keep them on constantly in order to heat the cabin up. But like I say, it is complete overkill. This thing with it turned down to its lowest setting, I have to have both doors open in the winter when it's snowing. Now, how I've got the cabin laid out at the moment is that it's split down the middle. So I've got one side for just relaxing and leisure and just watching TV. The other is for gaming and for work. So let's have a look at some leisure first. This is where downtime and relaxing happens, where all my guests come to hang out.
Sofa bed. Yes, you heard me correctly, sofa bed. It was advertised like that, and it is not like that.
If you watched the cabin build and you saw this thing come in, you'll know that we were laughing our backsides off when it came in, because nobody can fit on it and nobody can sleep on it. But that being said though, it's actually perfect size for in here, because again, we're working with limited space. You don't want something too big. Also, plenty of storage underneath for just general bits and bobs. Stay there.
Also, bean paw pillows. We've got Artemis Wishfoot's paws, and we've got my paws, which, by the way, you can buy these. They are based on my actual paws. I have blue beans. This is Mooncake from Final Space, probably one of my favourite TV shows ever.
Quite possibly the greatest coffee table in the world, because 1, it's small, 2, we built it, and 3, it's actually made out of bits of the cabin. When we first built this place, we had a few bits of spare wood left over, and so we just built a coffee table with it. And I absolutely love it because it's just raw, it's battered, and it fits the aesthetic. Now Corey, what kind of lights are you using to get that purple colour? Strip lights, right? No.
Don't bother with stupid stuff like this.
They're not very bright, they break very easily, and in order to get a decent amount of brightness, you actually have to pay quite a bit of money. Here's a tip to save you a few extra bucks. I use something like this. This is an LED RGB floodlight. 1, they are much brighter and much more powerful than any LED strip light. 2, they are much more reliable than LED strip lights. And most importantly, 3, they're actually cheaper. You can pick these up off Amazon for like $15. Now, believe it or not, a lot of the stuff that you see behind me have actually been gifted to me over the years by either you guys or family members, including even the TV. My dad actually gifted me this TV, so thank you, Dad. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
We've got these 3 stinkers here.
Timby,
Moon,
and Corey Von Stink. Which, by the way, guys, can you believe Corey is 4 years old? Honestly, seems like yesterday I got him. And Corey 1 is 8. But Corey 1 is upstairs at the moment because he's old. He needs a refurbish. He needs new fur on him. He is showing his age. Which reminds me of a story, actually, because back in 2019, I think it was, when I first got Corey 2, someone actually made me an offer for Corey 1 of £12,000. Obviously, I said no to it because for me, these are irreplaceable. I'm not interested in money. I'm more interested about having fun. And not to mention, if someone's running around with my persona on my suit, yeah, kind of strange. Not to mention, if they did something really bad, then that would come back to me. Since I was living with Rico at the time as well, I never told him that. So Rico, if you're watching and you're just finding out now that I had an opportunity to make that money, yeah. Now over here, this is where I keep my DJing equipment, so whenever I feel like I want to just like bang out some tunes, I just put the laptop here on the desk and I just go for it. Very, very rarely gets used though, and same goes for this. This is a Traktor Control S2 and it has never been used, not once. I bought this back in 2019 because I wanted to upgrade my controller for when I DJ'd, but 2019 was the last time I DJ'd ever live. So yeah, he's just been sat here gathering dust, sadly. And while we're here, it is worth talking about the guitars that I have on display. This is my Jackson DK2 Dinky. You've seen this one on the channel before if you've watched my older videos. I've had this for the best part of 13 years now, for maybe a bit more. This thing is an absolute beast, but my goodness, is it in a dire need of service. This one here is my most recent guitar, and there's actually quite a funny story with this one. Last month, I did my driving test on March the 9th, and due to some unfortunate circumstances and some moron from the Durham County Council, we're not going to get into that. Long story short, some idiot from Durham County Council caused me to fail my driving test. Now, when that happened, I was so blood-boilingly angry. So I was like, right, I'm off into Newcastle, I'm going to get drunk. I come downstairs the next morning into the cabin and this thing was on the wall. I walked into Newcastle's Guitar drunk and bought this thing. Probably because of just the way it looks, because admittedly, this looks very nice. Thank goodness though, it wasn't that expensive. Thank goodness for that.
And this one is my crowning jewel.
This one is my absolute favorite. I love this thing. Now you may have noticed that it doesn't actually have a brand name here, and that's because this one was custom built especially for me. This is a one-off, one-of-a-kind guitar. My friend Kazuki James down in Manchester is probably one of the best sound engineers in the entire country. Built this for me, and it is everything that I want in a guitar.
Now to the keen-eyed bunch of you, some of you may have noticed that there is a 4th one hiding behind the TV there.
This is a Harley Benton 8-string, and it's not great, but who cares? It is just something to play around with, and I only bought it to play one song. So, that's everything over here. Let's move over to the command center. This is where most of the magic happens. Now obviously, because we're in such a limited space, we have had to make a few compromises, and one of which is a smaller desk. So this thing gets cluttered very, very quickly. But whereas we have compromised with the desk size, we have actually managed to fit in another advantage because this is a standing desk. So now instead of just being sat on my backside all day, I can, stand up, I can move around now. Because this space is not just for show, there's actually quite a lot of function involved with it.
That's my webcam, Fujifilm X-T3, complete overkill.
But it isn't actually mine, it's my dad's.
Logitech C922. This is used for my face tracking when it comes to using my VTubing rig, but admittedly I would actually like something better.
Hang on. Need more headroom. Underneath the desk is the heart of the gaming setup. This is my custom built PC, and it's the first PC that I actually built by myself, admittedly with the help of you guys from chat, but I was really proud of myself because I'd never actually done it before. It runs on an RTX 3080 with a Ryzen 9 5900X, 4 sticks of 8GB DDR4 RAM from Kingston. I love this thing, it's an absolute beast. Amp stack, obviously because we've got so many guitars in here, have to have at least a couple of amps in here.
On the bottom we've got a 75 watt PV Viper digital amp.
It's actually probably the oldest thing in this cabin. This is getting on to be like 13, 14 years old now, this.
And on top we've got a Blackstar Stereo 100, another semi-digital amplifier, but I just absolutely love the sound this thing kicks out.
I haven't played with this in a very long time, so probably might plug it in and give it a quick demo. Yeah, that thing's quite old. Over on this side of the cabin, I like to just put stuff up on the wall just to, have a basic bit of decoration over here. You may recognize some of these pieces as well, especially this one.
This was drawn by an old friend of mine whom I haven't heard from in years. But it's got me, Skyware, and the stinkiest tiger in the world, Rico.
Do you hear of when I was DJing at Confuzzled one year? That was a good night. Skateboard with some furry art on it, because why not?
This is a poster from a good friend and fellow YouTuber, Jimmy Broadbent.
I love racing and I love my cars, so that's obviously there because, I'm a fan of my friend. This next bit is the bread and butter of the entire cabin. This is my sim racing rig. Almost everybody that comes into the cabin has to have a go of it. This whole thing is my pride and joy. So if you don't know, I have a second channel called Coyote Racing, hence that sign.
The sign was sent to me as a gift from KGL, one of my channel partners over on Coyote Racing.
Pretty much the entirety of the rig is built from products that companies have sent me over the years to review. To give you the TLDR, over on my second channel, companies like Moza Racing and Fanatec send me their sim racing products. I review those, I make a video out of it, I make it look very pretty, and that is where the majority of all of this equipment has come from. I mean, it's obviously pointless telling you what kind of equipment is on it right now because it's constantly changing of stuff that I'm reviewing, stuff that I'm testing, and just basically stuff that I want to play with. But to oversimplify it, basically I've made sure that it's got everything that I need on it. It's got all 3 pedals, so a clutch, brake and accelerator, it's got a manual shifter, it has got a handbrake, even a heads-up display. But as I say, almost everybody that comes into the cabin has to have a go. It is my absolute pride and joy, this thing. I love sim racing. Now after all of that, both sides, leisure and work side, this cabin is at its best when the sun goes down. When it gets dark, this place is transformed into a neon-bathed paradise. I love neon, I love its colour, I love everything about it, and that's why I had to make the cabin pretty much exactly like this. Not to mention, I also love the 80s synthwave aesthetic. It looks exactly how I want it to look. And the neon signs that you see behind me are thanks to today's sponsor, Neon Daddy. Now, I don't need to tell you what Neon Daddy do. It's pretty self-explanatory. Neon Daddy make custom LED neon signs. And if you're a Twitch streamer, they will make you a neon sign with your name and the Twitch logo. If you can think it up, then Neon Daddy can make it for you. But that isn't the only thing, and this bit is so cool.
If you go to the Neon Daddy website, you can actually buy my Corey Coyote symbol sign as a neon. I've had a few people over the years asking me what does the symbol actually represent? Well, it's C for Corey with a scar through it. Why the scar? because Corey has the eye scar.
Simple. And it should be worth mentioning that if you do buy the Corey Coyote sign, I will not be making a single dollar off of it. My cut for this sign is $0. And that's because I just wanted you guys to have something cool. I mean, you don't even have to have it. You can make whatever you want. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you've enjoyed this video. It has been a little bit of a deviation from the regular content, and yes, you have to see my horrible real face. Don't forget to go and check out the guys over at Neon Daddy as well, because they've been really good to me and they provided all of my neon signs. And before I end this video, I have something to say real quick, and that is, welcome on into the channel, all my brand new subscribers. And basically just a thank you for stopping by and helping me continue making these videos. If you don't know, I'll put it to you very bluntly, this channel hasn't been doing too well for the past 2 years. I've been stagnant, I haven't grown at all, and I've been stuck at around 70,000 subscribers and just slowly losing subscribers over the past 2 years. I think the highest I ever got before my decline was 70,800 subscribers, and I know exactly why the decline happened. It was my fault. I'll be honest, it's been very difficult, it's been very hard. It's been a big strain on my mental health as well. To me, it was just like saying, oh, your career's over, basically. But now we come to today, and it looks like things are on the mend, and we're on the grow again. And all I have to say is just thank you so much. Thank you. You have no idea how difficult it's been. And I just want to say thank you once again. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for stopping by, sticking by me, and just supporting me. Thank you so much. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna stop being very soppy and, you know, just end this video because this video has gone on long enough as it is already. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I shall see you guys in the next video. Have a good night, everybody.